There we go. Okay. Okay, says that it's recording, so we'll go ahead and start. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the October 26th Focus on Montana FCS FCCLA webinar. Really exciting today. We have several people with us. Also, we have our new interim state FCCLA director and ProStart person. He'll introduce herself here in just a few minutes, and she's going to give us an update toward the end of the webinar. And if you can, our Texas Tech guest speakers, if you could give us a wave. They've got some great things they're going to talk about today, resources they have available for FCS across the nation, and also some assessment tools that they can share with you. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and get through my section so we don't shortchange anyone. Today's agenda, I'm going to share the calendar again with updates. Tracy and I have had a little bit of discussion. We both still have two separate calendars and how we might be able to merge those in the future so we have one. But we're working toward a master calendar of dates. So right now we'll have two to share with you. And my update, I'm going to talk a little bit about our course codes and descriptions and how we use our national standards in lesson and unit planning. Because I have had some people question, how do I find the essential question and how do I know where my standards are for the class, since if they're moving towards standards-based instruction. And then we have our guest speakers from Texas Tech, and then we'll end with Tracy and her FCCLA update. So I'm going to let you right now, Tracy, introduce yourself, just so people know who you are, and then I'll start with my update section. So it's all yours.
Thanks, Kayla. My name is Tracy Etherton, like she said, and I'm so excited to be a part of Montana FCCLA and Family and Consumer Sciences. Just a little bit about me. I just wrapped up 32 years of teaching Family and Consumer Sciences and advising FCCLA. So I get a lot of it, and I know everything in Montana is not going to be exactly like it was in the state where I'm from. So I'm looking forward to learning how things are done, and I certainly appreciate everybody's help so far. And if there's things I need to know, let's stay in touch, and there'll be more about me in a little bit.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, we're really, really excited. Some of you may not realize Tracy and I have known each other, and she's known several people in Montana also for a number of years, and we're all very excited about the talents that she's bringing and the experience she has and the great ideas. And we're very lucky to have you, Tracy. So looking forward to wonderful things to come this year. So thank you. So as always, I want to remind you, you can put in the chat or you can send me an email if there's topics that you want me to address in the next webinar. I'm always building based on what the field needs, and what you're hearing today is based on phone calls and emails that I've received from individuals talking about what is the course codes, where do I find them, what is the descriptions, how does that link with what I'm teaching, how does that link with the national standards and those types of things. So just and everything's available, up for conversation. If it's support for your classroom, if it's connecting to business and industry, whatever it happens to be, please let me know so I can address it. So again, this is a calendar. Last month I shared information related to what's going on, obviously September and most of October. After today, the October information will be done, but you'll be able to see when other webinars are going to be for the rest of the year, as well as other things. Please note, in November, we don't have a webinar. I'm blending November and December together because it's such a crazy time anyway. So on December 7th is when we'll have a November-December webinar. But I do want to point out December 3rd is Ellen Swallow Richard's birthday, and AAFCS has some great materials on their website, www.aafcs.org/elevate-FCS. And actually they have things for the whole month of December. If you want to do FCS Fridays is what they're calling it, and do something every Friday, not just on the 3rd, but I do encourage you to think about doing something. to celebrate, because that nationally links us all together at the same time, which is kind of cool. So this goes through the December, and then it goes from February through July on the next slide. I do want to share that in April, I'll do some face-to-face symposiums. Actually, I'm kind of calling those drive-ins, because I drive in and then you drive in, and we all meet together. And the April 14th on the eastern part of the state, Miles City, we're still looking at the date, but it looks like the 14th is going to work. I'll have that finalized by December, but the 19th is confirmed. On the western part of the state, it's a pre-conference to the spring Montana AAFCS conference in Whitefish. So it'll be like 12:30 to 4:30 in the afternoon on the 19th. The conference starts that evening and then goes the next 2 days. So individuals coming, you can just come a little earlier, and there'll be a lot of programming conversations. I'll have more information about pathways and some of the initiatives I'm working on, like early childhood connections to your programs in your schools, and trying to secure some grant funds for schools to be able to expand those or start them in particular. Yeah, so that's the calendar, ever evolving. I'm hoping a year from now, we will actually have a master calendar with dates finalized. So when school year starts, you'll be able to know ahead of time what to expect, so you can do some program planning. So let's look at FCS courses and descriptions right now. As you know, this is just an example of one of the pathway design sheets. We have 4 pathways. They all look like this. I do want to point out that the yellow highlight are new courses this year. And that these courses are actually identified with something we call the SCED code, the 5-digit code. And that's very significant in that the descriptions are linked with those codes. The codes are what's recognized as part of your pathway. And to have a pathway, you need 1 full credit at the foundational level and 1 full credit at the elective level. So you see on the left-hand side where that break hits, as well as a title change. So anything above or anything below foundational courses is considered introductory, or something you're likely teaching at a freshman, sophomore level. Elective courses are things you would teach at the sophomore through senior level, working toward the workplace experience potentially. And we, in another webinar, we'll talk more about workplace experience and what that might be and mean. But going to the pathways, that'll determine these codes. And then where do you find the descriptions? So to find the descriptions, you'll go to OPI, the www.opi.mt.gov. And once you go to that particular web page, look under educators. When you click on educators, you'll have a drop-down menu. There'll be several columns, and on toward the right-hand side, you'll see something that says Career and Technical or Education, or CTE. And that's found under the teaching and learning column. Once you open the CTE webpage, you'll scroll down, you'll find Career Carl D. Perkins. And then under Carl D. Perkins, there's 3 or 4 options that you can select, and you want to select career pathways. And once you select career pathways, then there'll be a, it'll say Montana Career Pathways Program of Study. And that page you now see that I've screenshotted, and it says Montana course codes, and there's 2 listed. One tab says FY2023 course codes, and the next one says FY2023 course code changes. And the course code changes are the updated, the ones in yellow. So next year we won't have ones in yellow, it'll all be found under course codes. But that way, if you don't find the new courses under course codes, that's why they're considered changes, so they'll be on the other link. So once you go to that particular link, then you'll get a list that looks like this. And see those 5-digit codes there on the left-hand side? That's how you can find how they're aligned to your pathway. The course name is a course name selected at the state level, and sometimes we've adopted the national titles. You don't have to use those locally. You can use whatever title that you have, as long as it aligns to the content, makes sense for you locally. So when reports in the spring are completed, they'll ask for the course code. It should, I believe it populates the state course title, And then you have the option of putting in your local course title. So like I said, you can call whatever, but I do want to point out to you to look for CTE or FCS course codes, which most of ours are 19 series. So like 19 and then 3 course numbers after that. You'll see the course code series. Just look at the first 2 numbers in our pathway design sheets if you want to know more about that. But go from the bottom up, because there's like, I don't know, 47 pages of course codes, because these are all the courses schools can offer across all grades and all content fields. So just scroll down to the very bottom and then go from the bottom up, and that's more, you'll find our course codes more easily there. It takes less time to go there. So I thought that would be interesting for you to locate. The descriptions then guide in the content of the class. So if you're using a particular 5-digit code now, and then you read the description and it's like, well, that's really not what I teach, then look for another code to see what's the better code to use from that list. That's why we have such an extensive list at the foundation and the elective level, to provide you a little bit more flexibility locally. And there were some weaknesses I felt, some holes, and that's why I added those new courses in to kind of filter, not filter, but allow you a little bit more flexibility with course codes that you could pick from that would count. So it's just a matter of recoding. You just need to tell your particular person at your school that does coding that you need to change a course code. It's being done right now through the Teams files, and they only have till November 1st to make these changes, and that's for fall and spring enrollment. If you're not sure if there's a course you're going to offer in the spring, go ahead and code it. When the reports are submitted in the spring, all the course codes that match that you've said you teach is going to populate into a report for enrollments. And then I review all those. So if you have a course code and it says 0 enrollment, not a problem. It's not going to cause you any issues, not going to be any red flag. It's not going to mean that we think you didn't do something correctly or should have offered it. It just means it's in the system. So you're not out anything to put those course codes in now. But if you don't put them in, you can't add them in the spring. So you might offer the class locally, but you're not going to be able to earn funding for your program come the next fall because it's not there to pick. So put whatever codes you think you might offer in the system, and then I'll be able to see when enrollment happens. If it says 0, I'll know, well, you just didn't offer it that particular semester. So, but that's how the course codes and the descriptions link together to your pathways. And hopefully will help you better understand how it's all connected. Before we leave here, I do want to mention that Perkins funding that comes to our state has some parameters. And one of the parameters is that schools that obtain the funding are offering a sequence of courses from younger or foundational level instruction to a more rigorous and relevant content related to industry which are the elective courses. That's what we call them anyway. So the course codes are really important to show you're teaching a sequence since you're eligible for Perkins money. And then that's where I come in the spring, is to see, do you have a full credit at each level? If you do, great, you have a pathway. But if there's not a sequence really shown up, then that's when I would offer some guidance on how you might be able to move things around a little bit in order to get working toward that workplace experience level. But like I said, we're going to talk more about that in a different webinar. Now, as far as how this worked with lesson planning, this is going to be pretty quick because I want to get to the Texas Tech presentation. Lesson planning really starts with the FCS mission and then moves on to the national standards, since that's how we have adopted in Montana standards. Instead of having our own state level, we're just aligned to the national standards, which is fine, which is great. And you'll learn a lot of the Texas Tech curriculum is aligned to the national standards, which means it's already aligned to your classroom and how you can use that. So that's one of the reasons why I asked them if they would present today. So the first thing I want to mention is if you've went to the Family Consumer Science webpage, to access that, go back like we did before, the opi.mt.gov. Look under educators, and the current technical education will show up under teacher and learning. So click on that. That page then will have a box that's red. It says Family Consumer Sciences. So if you click on that, what you see is this screenshot. It talks about our vision as a discipline, and then also our mission and the components, or the what we strive to do. And those are really what we would call essential questions. So the essential question for your unit or your lesson plan basically takes one of these, I believe there's 9, and you just reword it as a question. You're not going to completely solve this, because as we know, as our FCS profession, we're not solving things where we can just check the box and move on. These are parts of our mission that are continually changing. And but what we can do is help students be informed to make good decisions to improve their quality of life today. So for example, the first one says, as far as one of the components or indicators, if you will, strengthening the well-being of individuals and families across the lifespan. So to use that as an essential question, we might reword it to say, what should be done about strengthening the well-being of individuals and families across the lifespan? Or how can we strengthen the well-being of individuals and families across the lifespan, as a question? So that's your essential questions. You don't have to figure out how to make things up. You can just align with this, because then that's aligned with our discipline and what our purpose is in schools today, is to do these things. Next, then we go to the national standards. So we have our essential question, what we're trying to address as a unit. And so now we go to the standards, national standards, which again is the Montana FCS program standards. We go to leadfcsed.org. At the top of the page, you'll see 4 options in the menu. You pick develop. There's only 2 options once you have a drop-down menu, and one is national standards. And what you see on the left-hand side is a screenshot. And you'll see our areas of study at the bottom of the screen. Now, this isn't all of them because I couldn't fit them all on the page, but this is where the areas, the standards are. So you just click on the ones you think are connected. Do realize that the national standards are not standalone. So depending on your course, you may have standards that you find under 3 or 4 or more of the areas of study. You also are not expected to do all of the areas of study standards, because there are multiple pages. This is looking at a content field once a person has been through all instruction, including post-secondary. So you just pick and choose the ones that fit your particular unit plan or lesson plan. And then you have your standards. And this is what it talks about at the beginning, what I just said about these aren't just standalone, that you need to look in all the standards. So I just wanted to, as a disclaimer, include that. So you'll want to read that. This is what it looks like. Now, this particular section came under career and community. And we have a comprehensive standard, which is for that particular discipline, but it's the content standards that are the ones that you'd want to include as the standards for your unit. What are the unit standards that you're going to address, and how you're going to address it is the competencies. So your lesson standards, you would pick under content, not expecting you to have everyone that's listed in each area of study. You pick the ones that address what you're teaching. And then you look at the competencies, which are really your student outcomes. What are they going to do at the conclusion of this lesson or unit, depending on how you design your program? And the reason I wanted to go through all of this is we have a number of people who've come into FCS from other areas, and I've received a number of emails and phone calls about, I don't understand, our school's going to standard-based instruction. I don't know what that means. And so I've walked them through what I just shared with you. And we can have more training next summer, in particular, if you guys would like to do that. I have a survey that's going out by the end of the week, and it'll ask you a number of questions. And one of them is, have you moved toward, or are you moving towards standard-based instruction, or would you like more instruction on how to do that? Thinking maybe we could get all together for a day and just help you one-on-one write your standards, at least for one class, and then you'll be able to duplicate that. So does anybody have any questions about any of that? Does it make sense? Tracy, do you have anything you'd like to add, or?
No, I think that's a really comprehensive approach, and I think you covered it all. Yeah.
Okay, awesome.
We do standards-based grading at my school, and I went through some standards-based training. So I've got some like year-long context maps and stuff for at least some of the courses that I've done. So if you have anybody who's
Wonderful.
having
Yeah.
some struggles with it, I can at least, I mean, I don't do all of the classes because I teach several content areas, but I
Mhm.
can show them what I've done with culinary and personal finance anyway, and with my junior high class. So
That'd be wonderful. Thank you very much, Sarah. I sure may take you up on that. Actually, I probably will take you up on that, to be honest. Okay, we're going to transition now to our FCS pathway resources. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Texas Tech and their presentation. So I'm going to stop my sharing of my PowerPoint, and I'm going to let Texas Tech now upload theirs and start telling you about all the great things that they have that are already aligned to the national standards. Okay.
Yeah. Can everyone see our screen? Yeah, I think so. I think they're good. Okay. Okay, well, first we're very happy to have been invited to speak with you all today. For our backgrounds, we're going to tell you a little bit about ourselves, but I'm Melanie Schmidt, and this is actually my second year at Texas Tech, and my background is in the FCS secondary classroom. I taught in Arkansas 9th through 12th grade FCS for 16 years, and so this is my second year in higher education. But all of my degrees are in FCS. I'm very passionate about it, so I'm very happy to be able to teach future FCS teachers here at Texas Tech.
Hi, ladies. My name is Arnessa Dodson, and I recently left the classroom after 8 years and started my new position here at Texas Tech University as the Associate Director for the Curriculum Center. I'm happy to be here with y'all, and thank you for giving us some time to tell you a little bit about our curriculum and how it can help your teachers. And so this is our center staff. We're small, but we're mighty, okay? Today's agenda, we are going to give you some information about what the Curriculum Center offers. We're going to have some fun and actually sample the digital curriculum. And then we're going to use some tools to help you plan using our curriculum.
All right, so we were requested to mainly focus on some of the basic courses, some of the courses for younger students, as well as some courses that focus on relationships. So these are just a few. How many did we count for our offerings? 28 that we actually offer, and you will have a handout that will be shared with you that lists all the different curriculum that we offer and a description of that. But this is just some of it. One of our newest courses is Real Skills for Real Life. There aren't a lot of resources for middle school curriculum out there. So we feel like this is a really good overall FCS curriculum. And we've made it to where we can show you how to do it in a 6-week program, 9 weeks, a semester, or a year-long program. So there are outlines for all of those different options. And then some of our other popular curriculums that we offer: human growth and development, child guidance, the principles of human services. A really good one that's a newer course in a lot of schools is counseling and mental health. That's a very popular one. Interpersonal studies, and then the parenting education. So like we said, we also have that document that you'll be receiving that highlights all of those different classes that we offer as well.
And we do have digital curriculum, but one of the last print resources that we have, it's called Today's Life Skills. And it's a packet that you can actually put into a binder. So if you're a teacher who prefers handouts that you can copy, this is the perfect curriculum for you. It has lesson plans for grades 7 through 12. And if you look on the screen, there are the units that are offered for this particular curriculum. And so this is a standalone, or you can use it as a supplement to the courses that you guys already teach.
You would tell them to pass that one.
Oh, yeah, and it's only $45 for that packet that she just held up.
All right, so we wanted you guys to go ahead and if you have access to a device, if you want to go ahead and go to our website, ccfcs.org, we can show you how to actually get a sample of our curriculum. And this is in addition to the free resources that we'll talk about here in a minute. But if you'll go to ccfcs.org, and then there should be a button that says curriculum login, I believe.
We'll walk you through it right now. Everybody.
Can you see our website page right now? Or you still see the PowerPoint?
We see the PowerPoint.
Okay. All right, we'll stop share real quick.
So $45, that's really reasonable.
Yes, and we have several of them in stock, so.
Yeah, to get standard aligned curriculum, that's phenomenal.
Yes.
Yes.
And it's been produced a while ago, but we do have a packet that we send with it that has some updates. And there's also a CD-ROM included as well. So this is what our website will look like when you go to it. And there are different places you can log in. There's a curriculum login at the top, but there's also one, that black button right there is a login. So it's a Blackboard platform. And actually for the Blackboard platform, you will be, if you purchase a curriculum, you will be in the student view. So you'll be seeing things as the student would, but you can download the PowerPoints, you can download the materials, you can edit them as needed. But again, it's not you enrolling your students in Blackboard and you being the teacher, you would have the student facing version. So for the login and password, you're going to type in
Sample user,
sample user.
and then the password is CCFCS. So thumbs up when you're able to log in.
And how much more time do we have? We don't want to go over.
I think you have about 5 minutes.
What
Okay,
was the
okay.
password again?
It is
CCFCS.
and we have shared our slideshow with Gayla as well, so she can get that. She can probably
Yeah.
get that out to you all.
Yeah, when the recording is then available, the link I'll send the handouts and the PowerPoints all at the same time, so people have those. How long will the password and the access be available? Is that something that those that are watching this as an archived webinar will still be able to get in, say within a couple weeks, or how long will
Yeah.
that?
This is always available.
Yes, always available.
Wonderful, thank you.
All right, so if you are there, we want to go to our black menu bar and you see where it says courses. We want to click on that word. And then your screen should have a square box that has pictures in it and it'll say sample courses. You can click in that area on that link.
And you'll see that we have put in samples from several different course offerings. That way you kind of have a variety that you can look at.
Now click on course samples in the black menu pane. And in the middle of your page, you should be able to scroll down and take a look at all of the sample courses. And so would anyone like to choose one and we can go through it together? Any course you ladies teach or are interested in looking at?
Let's do lifespan nutrition and wellness. They're at the
Oh. Very user-friendly, and so our curriculum is set up with units and topics. And so once you click on the course, You'll see several units listed. Because this is a sample, you see one. And so this one is dietary guidelines. And as you can see on the outside, we have the national standards that this unit follows listed outside of the unit. And so you can double check that with the standards that you plan on teaching for the week.
Okay, and then once you click into the unit, we call these strategies. So you would have several different strategies that you can use for that topic. And it's up to you to choose what works best for you and your students. And you can see also that if there's like a core subject alignment, we've notated that. And if there is a CTSO type of alignment, we've also notated that as well.
So we'll click into this one because it has both those notations so that you can see what it looks like.
Okay, and then once you click into the strategy, it's going to tell you what basically is going to be happening. This one is a class discussion and then a timeline. It's going to tell you your objectives and then your instructions as the teacher. If there's any resources, it's going to have links to that within the instructions. And then for this course, it's going to have it at the bottom. Some of our newer courses, it's lined up a little bit differently. But you know, we have PowerPoints that are available to you. We have PDF files, we have Word documents, we have website resources. So there's all kinds of things that can help you with the different courses that you may teach.
And they can all be downloaded and the Word documents can be edited. And then
Right.
right here, you see the standards are listed again for you and written out. And so if you wanted to use this for a substitute teacher and you just wanted to print this out, you could, okay? And so this would be your instructions for the day for that particular class.
There may be some courses that you see on the sample that have what's called TEKS, and those are Texas Essential Knowledge and Skills, but all of the courses that we have, we also will align with national standards as well. And we should probably have just a couple of minutes.
Yeah,
Do you want to go ahead and show them how to get the free resources?
sure. Yeah, let's do that. Any questions while I pull up the free resources, ladies?
I have a question. So for $45, oh, my camera is not on, I'm sorry.
Mhm.
Right, so for $45, you'd get access to all the resources that I'm seeing here. That's what you're saying?
No, that was for the binder, the
Mhm.
Today's
Oh.
Life Skill binder.
Okay, I'm sorry. I came on
So-
late. Just trying
No,
to end the lab and just listening in.
It's okay, that's okay.
We do have a pricing sheet that we've shared as well.
Mhm.
So one course would be $275. Is that right?
Mhm.
Okay, so you have $200 per course, and then you have your $75 Blackboard access fee. And then we have different prices if you add or combine different courses.
Mhm.
But you will get that pricing structure as well.
I'll pull that up right now so you ladies can see. We sent that to Gail and she'll send that out to you guys so that you can have that.
And then
And-
we also have states that have contract with us too. That's, you know, a different pricing structure. So it just depends on if that's an interest that a lot of teachers have there.
But
And I'm trying
before
to
we
work-
run out of time, let me show you the free resources that we have. I'm sorry, did I interrupt someone?
No, I was just gonna say, I'm trying to work on a contract for Montana.
Okay,
I was
Oh,
gonna say-
okay,
awesome.
awesome, okay.
But this way you can see the sample and y'all can see kind of what all you would be getting. So,
So
yeah.
you go to our website and you click on resources, go to teaching resources. And in this gray box, you'll see all of the resources that we have that are free to you all. And so Family and Consumer Sciences, we are project-based. And so we have over 50 rubrics that are customizable that you can download here. There's also some classroom management links that'll help you be a more effective teacher. This is more information about that Today's Life Skill binder. We have presentations and projects that you can look up with live binders. And so these are all of the free resources that we offer.
Yes. So does anybody have any further questions or anything? Like we said, we have several different courses, but that sample user account will give you kind of an overview of some of the ones that we have and how they're set up.
That's wonderful.
So please use that sample user and that password so that you can take a look at all the courses and the courses that you guys teach and see if you're interested in it, and put the outline.
Yes, and so if there is a course that you see on that list and with a description that you feel like you want more information about, because we do not have the course outlines in the sample user account, and the course outlines will look like, is it sharing?
I'll share it.
Okay, so course outline will give you all the different units and topics. So if you see a course that you're interested in and want more information on what all would be included, if you'll send us an email, we can send you a copy of that course outline. So that would give you more details on what you would actually be getting in that curriculum.
Yeah, that's for those of you who are really struggling, you have a lot of preps or have a lot of pathways. This really could be one of the game changers to help you do what you need to do, already aligned to the national standards. So so you don't have to do any of that on your own. And the free resources, especially those that assessment with the rubrics, is phenomenal. Those were created by FACS teachers for FCS teachers, and so that is worth a lot too. So thank you so much for presenting this to us, and I'll make sure that these slides, as well as the handouts that you had talking more in depth about your classes and that you have to offer with the username and the password, gets out to the field. So thank you so much for being
You're
a part
welcome.
of our webinar today.
You're very welcome. It was nice to meet you, ladies.
Yeah, hopefully we'll be able to work again together.
Absolutely, absolutely. Have a
Okay,
great school year.
thank you so much. Thank you. We're going to turn it over to Tracy. I know we're going to go over a little bit today, but I still want to give her the amount of time she needs to give you an update for FCCLA. We just had such a rich webinar agenda today. So Tracy.
Yeah. Can you guys still hear me?
Mhm.
Excellent. That kind of shorted out on me earlier. So again, I'm Tracy, and I am here as your FCCLA and ProStart State Director. I've got just a few quick updates for you, and it sounds like some of you already know some of the things that I'm probably going to talk about. So yeah, this is me with some of my FCCLA members at our national meeting last summer in San Diego. And as I was looking for pictures to kind of show you a little bit about my life, I kept coming across ones with students in them. That's a hard habit to break after a long time in the classroom. And I bet you guys know what that's like. Like Gayla said, I developed some really good friendships years ago in Montana, and I keep heading back to visit. And I was really excited to find out there was an opportunity to work with all of you guys. So I'm really glad to be here. And I want to make sure that you understand that my perspective on it is that my job is to help all of you have a great year. So if there's something that I can help with, please don't hesitate to reach out and communicate that to me so that I can help you as much as I can. The items on my agenda today are a review of the membership package options, a little bit about Vision Zero, and some upcoming dates and conferences that you might want to go ahead and get on your calendar right now. The next three slides all actually are a piece of a great big handout. But when I tried to blow it up so you could read it, it was way too small. So I broke it into three. And the first route for FCCLA dues affiliations this year is the traditional one that has been offered in the past. And it's offered at the national website. The dues of $9 per person at the national level, with a minimum of 12, and then another addition of the state dues of $9 per person, as well as a charge per chapter to help support some of the state officer programming. And that's what anybody is going to get anywhere. The really exciting part is that Montana chapters have a couple more options here in the middle. And so we're calling those packages 2 and 3. You do have the option of using some of your Perkins funding to pay for these dues, which from my chapter advisor background perspective, automatically goes to every student can then be a part of FCCLA and the opportunities that it offers, which is really exciting for the ones who maybe don't have as many resources as others. So that is exciting. You also will receive, when you choose one of these 2 packages, one of the National FCCLA program USB drives. I don't know the background of everybody who's going to see this video, so I'm going to apologize if I explain too much. But if you're new to the scene, there's several national FCCLA programs that really help to drive your chapter's activities and projects. And they're a great complement and reinforcement of the curriculum in the Family and Consumer Sciences classroom. And so things I'm talking about are like Families First, Financial Fitness, Student Body, Families Acting for Community Traffic Safety. So those, for example, are the national programs that you can choose from. And I looked at the website, the price tag on those is about $75 a piece. So your chapter would get one of those complimentary with packages 2 and 3. Along with that, the national affiliation for your chapter advisors complimentary, and 1 Advisor Academy registration, which I believe runs about $90. There's also the option for a complimentary lifetime alumni and associates membership for any one of your choice. So that's a great way to maybe recognize a volunteer in your chapter or a parent who has helped a great deal, or maybe award that to a graduating senior. You have a lot of options and extra benefits with packages 2 and 3. So package 2 is designed for up to 25 members. And you can see the prices on your screen and on the handout. The Big Sky option for option 3 is for your larger groups. And I'm going to go ahead and sneak to my next one. It is on membership over 45 members. So depending on the size of your chapter, I would absolutely get out the calculator and crunch the numbers and see which one might be most beneficial to you. But I love the flexibility of these 2 options and how you might be able to get a few more students involved who might be hesitant to participate before. At the bottom of that page too, you can see the long-term benefits. More membership really strengthens the state as far as funding goes for FCCLA. And so that is another benefit beyond your chapter. You can help the whole state out when we affiliate a few more students this year. Any questions so far on the affiliation packages?
Yes, I have a question. Can I change mine, or a better question would be, how can I change it? Because I'm currently at the traditional. When I went in, just enter some information and that just popped up. So I'm interested in the top 25. How do I change that? Principal just told me, hey, here's $1,000. You can use it at your disposal. I'm excited.
Excellent. Will you do me a favor and put your email in the chat box and send that to me? I don't know the answer to that, but I will find it and get it to you in the next 24 hours. How does that sound? Okay, I will work on that. Anybody else?
If I could share, Tracy, and you may or may not be familiar with this, but OPI gives your school gives you $400 in the fall after the initial year that you are a chapter. The first year, it's all up to you, but after that, the following fall, after being affiliated the year before, you automatically get $400 stipend back to your school. So that offsets quite a chunk of an affiliation package right off the bat. Then you will get a certain amount of dollars per student donated back to you. Last year it was $12. It was in addition to the 400 per student that you were able to get. So and that's to offset some of the costs of affiliation, or you can use those for membership drives or whatever you need for your programming. But I think that's really unique because most states that I'm aware of do not provide that guidance. CTSOs are considered a best practice here. So I wanted to point that out.
Yeah, great information, especially somebody who might not have a lot of experience in FCCLA. That's going to be really helpful for them. So affiliation was number one on my list. I also learned recently about Vision Zero. And if you're, a seasoned veteran advisor, you know all about this. But I was like, what? Look at this opportunity. So I want to go back to the internet here, if I can get my screen to cooperate with me. Here's how you find it. You go to the Montana FCCLA website, so mtfccla.org, and then it was under community outreach and then community outreach grants. And so when you find yourself there, you have to scroll down a little bit and there's some details. It's a partnership with the Montana Department of Transportation, and there's some other sponsors in there as well. I wanted to get really, really detailed with you guys right on the website. You'll notice the grant application, there's 2 dates there. So the November 18th one is considered priority. And then if I understand correctly, your chances of getting approved are a little better if you hit the priority date. And then December 2nd is the second deadline. And then I would go right here where it says click to view the requirements. And then I would click one more time and get the detailed information. Now, this is way too much for me to read to everybody. But I want to point out that there's a couple of different sources, like with this option, any traffic safety project grants are eligible. It's got specific things that have to happen. It's grant money. Once you receive the check, you don't have to do any receipts submitted later on. The second one is contract funds, sponsored by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. And this one reimburses you. And there's a contract you must sign. There are some reports due at the end, just to let you know those are there. And it's got even the plans to help you organize your grant application. So I would absolutely take a few minutes and check that out, because these are free money for traffic safety awareness projects in your community. Students, from my experience, have been very passionate as far as traffic safety goes. And this year's theme is distracted driving. So I would absolutely check that out and see what kind of projects your chapters might come up with. Oh my goodness. I've lost my button, you guys. Hold on with me. There we go. Present. It was hiding from me. Any questions so far about the Vision Zero? Okay. So I mentioned I have some dates for you, and I'll have some more in just a second. Coming up quickly in November, we have lots of district meetings on the 15th. I think I dropped one too. There's some on the 16th, but you'll see that in a second, I think. If you happen to be a ProStart school and you haven't received an email from me, I need to hear from you quickly. There were some confirmations going on last month, I guess 2 weeks ago, and there is a survey that is due on November 22nd in order to participate next year. So again, if you've been hearing from me, you're on track. If you don't know who I am and you're planning to do ProStart, we need to talk quickly. The dates we have on the calendar for the ProStart Invitational are March 15th and 16th, and then the state FCCLA conference follows it right up the 16th and the 17th. And I know you need those details and the information quickly. Let me tell you, we are working on that and hoping to have something out maybe mid to late November, so that chapters can plan accordingly for things like state conference and competitions. All right. The last page, yeah, there's a lot on this one. And I will check in with Nicole about getting this shared out in the newsletter that will be coming to you soon. Someone, when I first heard from them this year, said, we need all of the dates in one place so that we don't lose anything. And I said, yes, you probably do. So we worked on getting this finalized and out to you guys so that you have all of the information that you need. District 8, that's the one that's November 16th that I dropped off the slide before. So again, if you're watching this on video and it's helpful for you to pause right here and zoom in so you can have those things. If you really would like this document right now, let me know. I can get that to you. Otherwise, it's coming to you soon in a newsletter from Nicole. And there's my email if you need to get in touch with me, director@mtfccla.org. Again, my name is Tracy Etherton. People say, how do you spell that weird name? Well, I spell it just like feather, only no F. And that seems to be easier to remember once people hear it that way. So I appreciate having a few minutes to chat with everybody today. Thanks, Gayla, for inviting me. And anybody have any questions for me?
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you so much, Tracy, for presenting. I know we're over a little bit, so I don't want to take any more of your time, but thank you again for being part of the webinar. I hope it's been beneficial for you. I hope you note that you have a lot of resources there and you find that very valuable. And in December, we'll be back and I'm going to talk a lot about this Google site that I'm building with Tracy and with Nicole at MSU. And I'm hoping that it'll be a one-stop shop. You will go there and you can have links to everything. That's where you'll find all the calendars. It'll be a one place that we'll have our webinars on YouTube that you can click on. Everything will be in the one place. So it's not, where is that? And where is that here? Where it is? So I'm really excited. We'll talk more about that and walk through that as well as the new work-based learning manual. So anyway, so you have a great fall and Thanksgiving. And we will see you December 7th at the next webinar. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Good night.
Have a good evening. Bye-bye.
Bye.